Hey Raghunath, tell everyone about our Patreon community.
Sure, Kastuba. The Wisdom of the Sages Patreon community is an incredible online yoga resource. If you like the type of yoga wisdom and culture we share on the show, then our Patreon community is a great next step. This is a listener-supported podcast, and any level of sponsorship will unlock a wide range of live and archived classes, talks, and even workshops.
Raghunath teaches, I teach, and we have a host of other excellent teachers on topics ranging from yoga philosophy, asana classes, storytelling, Ayurveda, kirtan, cooking, meditation, and a lot more.
We even have an incredible online Bhakti 12-step recovery group.
So if you want to check it out, go to patreon.com/wisdom of the sages.
All right, let's get it on.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from Super Soul Farm, this is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily yoga podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York, Kastuba Das. Welcome to the show, everybody. It's Thanksgiving.
Big day.
A day to be grateful here.
But it's more than that.
What is it? What else is it?
This is Papa Tony's wedding.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were some, very esoteric spiritual thing I was missing out on. Today is Mara's dad's wedding. I'm going to officiate it.
Papa Tony.
And Mara's whole family is here at Super Soul Farm. She's got a very nice family. That's why she's so nice. She's got a very nice family.
Yeah.
Your brothers and sisters are nice. Your father's really nice. His fiance is, I really like her. It's like a really nice family.
Okay.
I
You
can't
do a
find
little,
any dysfunction there. I'm trying to snip
It's
it out,
there.
but
It's
it's
there.
not
You can
It's
bring
a manifested
dysfunction in,
behavior.
Raghunath. You can bring it in yourself.
oh
But,
bad mind twist. It's like I don't have
but
any. I
can
I
do a
find
little,
myself being a little quiet. I find myself being a little quiet. And,
wow. Bear's like, really? I
well,
hadn't noticed
you
that.
should, I mean, I'm
He's out of his usual element. It is true.
Our Capo family dinners are everyone just picture 7 of me and their children vying for space at the table. Verbal, just loudness. There's a loudness to my family, and everybody's
would have
talking
never
on
guessed.
top of each other. And then my mom just sitting there as the matriarch, just spinning around.
Yeah, you're gonna do a little love is patient, love is kind kind of thing there. You know that.
I'm
that'll-
gonna bust out some Cherokee Nation wisdom, perhaps.
Oh, well, we got a Native American nugget today, so that can.
What?
Oh,
That's a Christian
Yeah,
American.
you haven't seen it yet?
No.
just closed it.
I just
All right,
no.
we'll get to that in a moment.
Okay.
Mary, do you have any wedding announcements today?
I don't have any wedding announcements, but I do have some back to recovery group meeting announcements. There's a meeting at noon and at 1:30 today.
Noon and 1:30.
Did you see
Oh, that's
that?
good for Thanksgiving. People that are feeling a little, maybe feeling a little lonely, a little down, a little vulnerable today.
Yeah.
Call up. You join in one of those Bucks recovery meetings.
Yeah.
That's nice. Did you see the thing I posted with the hawk taking the squirrel away?
I did. That was brutal. Oh my God.
Life is brutal. All you have to do is
It is.
observe nature.
Speaking of
Hawk
observing
coming down
nature.
on a little innocent squirrel.
We're going to talk about observing nature in the nugget today.
Okay, here we go.
You got to read this one slow, Raghunath.
This is from Crowfoot.
Crowfoot.
Imagine if you got that
Right.
name from your tribe leader. I'd be like, can I have a different name, please?
Well, just think about what you were just talking about. What you were just talking about was this little video clip of a hawk lifting a squirrel way up in the air and then dropping it. I think is what he did. But for that squirrel, that hawk foot, so hawk or crow, whatever, it's like a strong weapon. Maybe crowfoot means
It's a compliment, you thinking?
I definitely think it's a compliment. I don't think they meant it in any other way.
Okay.
He was the chief of the tribe.
All right.
Crowfoot, he lived from 1830 until 1890, so he lived 60 years. He was a chief of the Siksika First Nation. He was a warrior Raghunath, and he fought in as many as 19 battles and sustained many injuries. But he tried to attain peace instead of warfare.
I wonder what their system was. Was everybody a warrior, or was there some people who were just like?
I don't know.
Do a little research on that.
I don't know if all the tribes were the same.
Yeah, good point. Okay, what is life? This is
So,
Crowfoot.
yeah,
What is life? It is the flash of a firefly in the night. It is the breath of a buffalo in the wintertime. It is the little shadow which runs across the grass and loses itself in the sunset. Good morning.
Thoughts, Raghunath.
I'm a little
Thoughts.
depressed. That makes me a little depressed. That's our whole life. That's the whole thing we're building up to.
You ever see those films of like a buffalo or any other kind of animal like that? When it takes a breath in the cold and the steam comes out, it's like,
Yeah,
and then
over.
disperses. It's like a big explosion on one level, but on another level, it's just like here and gone, like it's nothing.
Yeah, it really puts my big issues in perspective, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it takes a little private time. It takes a little reflection time to sort of get that.
Well, you have to imagine, let's assume he said that towards the end of his life. Who knows? Maybe he said it on his deathbed. But here he was, a chief of a nation. He fought in as many as 19 battles. He sustained many injuries. We can imagine he had, a family, children.
Had many children.
He was involved in a lot of. I believe he was involved in a lot of the negotiations, with other tribes and with the U.S. government. Trying to preserve his people. He probably was a man that had a lot of responsibility in those 60 years. And our tendency is to look at life, and especially when we're young, and think, oh, it's just such a long thing, And when we think it's so long, I guess, well, let me flip it. It seems like when we get towards the end of it and we realize just how quick the whole thing is, that we realize it's only then that we realize how insignificant everything in it is, right? And we don't have much, and the realization of everything's insignificant. All the petty things that we get so caught up in, we only realize when we get old, and then we only have so much little time left to now that we've let go, now that we've become detached, to kind of use those years with a deeper level of insight, a deeper level of meditation, for transformation. If we can just understand this when we're a little younger, that all these things that seem like big explosions are really just a poof, they're gone in a second. Be advantageous for us, Those are nature examples for you, Raghunath, right? Observing nature.
Sure, it's powerful. Journaling.
What does that have to do with journaling?
What does it have to do with journaling?
You like to throw that word in. Journaling.
Because it helps you reflect. It helps me reflect.
Yeah, journaling is
not just observing. It's like observing and then writing down and then reflecting and then writing more. Huh?
Do you do journaling?
I used to all the time.
I'm going to get you a gift, Raghunath. I'm going to get you.
You know what? I will journal again. You know what? The problem is I have very bad handwriting.
Did you journal when you were writing songs?
I journaled my entire life until I had kids. And then I just stopped journaling. But I'm ready to.
I would love to see some of those journals. Are they still around?
I don't know, truthfully. Every record I ever wrote has a journal that goes with it.
Karuna's got some messages for you up here, Raghunath.
She's chastising me on the message
Not
board.
chastising, but she is
She
kind
says,
of trying
Raghu,
to help.
observing nature does not mean looking at the violence of nature. You can also look at the peaceful things of nature.
Just a little
Oh,
Karuna, Sharon. Little Karuna has a little message for you.
Still so naive.
It's all about the violence. And
Okay.
she also does journaling.
She does journaling. Okay.
All
Well,
right.
you're gonna have some kids one day, and you'll stop.
Well, you know, Raghunath, I also think it's interesting to hear from the warrior. You know,
Mm.
I would imagine someone in his position of responsibility, someone who's had to fight hard for his people.
Mm.
You know, he's going to have some interesting thoughts towards the end of life, and this is one of the ones that he shared. We're going to be hearing today from a most, I don't know what the word is, like formidable, terrifying warrior in the form of Vritrasura. And, we were just reading yesterday, right? Let's think about what he did. Indra, super powerful, right? Indra takes out his club. I mean, imagine how glorious it must have looked, It was saying he was so effulgent, it was hard to even look at him. And he's on top of this huge elephant. And he's whipping that club around. He throws it as hard as he can right at Vritrasura. And Vritrasura's like, click, boop, caught it.
Got it.
And then turned around and whipped it at his elephant, knocked the elephant backwards 14 yards. And Indra must have been like, man, I just gave him all I got. And he did that with it. Now then he's screaming at him, come on, pick up your thunderbolt and throw it at me. What are you waiting for? Don't you have any faith in Vishnu? He told you it could kill me. Bring it on.
He's not just crap talking, though. He's talking deep philosophy while he's crap talking.
Well, Prabhu, wait till you hear the stuff that we're going to hear today, because we get into the depth of right in the middle of all that. Like, some of the things he's going to say are so sensitive.
It's like calling somebody out on the street and then dropping these like sensitive bombs.
It gets very delicate and sensitive. His insights and his inner feelings. He's going to begin to express his inner feelings about Lord Vishnu, and
in the middle of the octagon.
It's kind of like he came in touch with his feminine side all of a sudden. And he's like, sounds like he was drinking a little chamomile tea and doing some journaling or something like that. And he just comes out with some amazing stuff. So those are some highlights coming up today.
Let's do this. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tatojayam madire. Before we start in the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supremest human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayeshu badreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati uttama bhaktir bhavati naishtiki, by regular attendance in classes in the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotees. All that is troublesome to the heart will become eradicated, and loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Jnana Tamarandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chaksurun Madatam Nena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance. My teachers are opening my eyes with a torchlight of knowledge. I offer my obeisances at their lotus feet.
Okay. What text are we on?
We are on Canto 6, Chapter 11, Text 22.
11. This okay. Raghunath? So this text 22, this is getting right at the heart of the message of the 6th canto. You're right. Here he's, in a few verses down the road, he's going to start to reveal his soft, inner, tender emotions. But right here, he's just dropping straight. Why are you laughing? He's very tender. What he shares. Very sensitive. And but what he's sharing here is the life philosophy. He understands what he's doing right now, Raghunath. I don't even know if he's doing it intentionally, but he's playing with Indra's head. Why don't we read it? We'll talk about how he's playing with Indra's head.
Sure. All right, text 22. Persons who fully surrender at the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and always think of his lotus feet are accepted and recognized by the Lord as his own personal assistants or servants. The
Nice.
Lord never bestows upon such servants the brilliant opulences of the upper, lower, and middle planetary systems of this material world.
Uh-huh.
When one possesses material opulence in any of these three divisions of the universe, his
Mhm.
possessions naturally increase his enmity,
Oh.
anxiety,
Uh-huh.
mental agitation, pride, and
say.
belligerence. We're gonna come back to this sentence. Thus, one goes through much endeavor to increase and maintain his possessions, and he suffers great unhappiness when he loses them. Wow. So, first of all, this is the bad guy speaking.
This is a
Imagine
bad guy
like somebody
speaking, apparently.
breaking into your house or something, causing all types of like upheaval, and all of a sudden starts giving you spiritual instruction. Listen
Well,
to this sentence again. This is
but the fact is,
is-
he hasn't done anything wrong. It was Indra that
Sure.
killed his brother,
Mm.
right? Killed not just his brother. Indra killed his own priest, who was doing nothing but being generous.
Yeah, not some good moves.
And so when he says, he had just said in the previous verse, Vritrasura said, "Fixing my mind upon the lotus feet of the Lord, I shall attain the destination of such great sages as Narada Muni." So he was like, "Throw your thunderbolt at me. I'm ready to die. If this is what I'm destined, if this is what God has destined for me, I'm happy. Bring it on. I am not at all attached to the things in this material world." And then, and he's saying, "I'm going to be accepted by God here, because my mind and my heart are fully surrendered to Him. I'll be once I die on the battlefield, my body will drop. I'll be accepted as a personal assistant or servant of the Lord." And you know what? That Lord never bestows upon such servants the brilliant opulences of the upper, lower, middle planetary systems in the material world. Who would he be talking about there? It's
Him.
Indra. No, yeah, Indra. It's like,
Yeah.
Indra is the whole reason Indra is in this the circumstance, facing this terrifying enemy, is because he was so attached to his position within the higher planets of the material world. And then he just spells it out for him in detail where your consciousness is at, Indra. This is where you're at. When one possesses material opulences in any of these three divisions of the universe, his possessions naturally increase. And this is where we have to look at ourselves.
Well, this is what I'm thinking. If you're thinking like, man, I don't have good karma, I need good karma. I wish I had better karma. Or if you were born with very, very good karma, well, check out this verse. When one possesses material opulence in any of these three divisions of the universe, their possessions naturally increase their enmity. Your possessions increase your enmity. Your possessions increase your anxiety.
Oh, yeah.
Your possessions increase your mental agitation, right? There's a fear of losing my stuff, the stock market or the real estate market or whatever.
Yeah.
They increase your pride, right? They check out my stuff, right? And they increase your belligerence.
What exactly is belligerence?
It just means being proud and haughty and brash. What do you think about that, Mara? Belligerent. Loud, proud, haughty,
aggressive, and warlike.
Mara?
An aggressive or truculent attitude, atmosphere, or disposition.
Truculent, like a trucker.
Well, now, you don't throw truculent in there. Now we're really
aggressively
that opens up more questions.
Yeah. Truculent is aggressively self-assertive or
Aggressively
scathingly harsh.
Scathingly harsh. Yeah.
Oh, that tension.
Yeah, and so that comes with your stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Proud of your stuff. And it makes you agitated. You're always in fear of losing your stuff because you've invested in your stuff as yourself, your career as yourself, your body, your beauty, your strength as yourself. It's okay if you do it, but this is what it's going to create: enmity, anxiety, mental agitation, pride, and belligerence.
Now think about when Indra's hearing this. First of all, maybe for the first time, he's understanding that, hold it, Vritrasura, he's speaking like he loves God. And then Vritrasura, kind of starts throwing this stuff out.
I do love
that
God.
well, because Indra must have been thinking prior to this. Well, the reason why I sit on the throne, the reason why I'm the king of the heavens, is because God favors me, right? Because I must be so special. God is favoring me. And what he's saying is, when God really favors you, he doesn't give you that, right? When God really, you become his intimate personal assistant, he doesn't give you the kind of opulence. Because look at your anxiety, look at your enmity, look at your belligerence, you
Right.
know. And so Indra's saying, like, for a moment there, I was building up my courage to fight him, thinking he's the demon, I'm the good guy, God is on my side. And now I'm beginning to wonder,
Right.
maybe he's the good guy, and he's telling me to kill him right now. It's very confusing.
Before you pray for abundance, pray to learn how to deal with abundance. People always want abundance mantras or prayers for abundance. Abundance might ruin your life. Are you kidding? You could get smothered. You could get crushed by abundance. You might pray for abundance and realize, what
Here's
have I
the
done?
Thanksgiving prayer for you today. Right? Lord, we wish you wouldn't have given us this bounty. There must be something wrong with us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Text
23.
23. Oh Lord, the supreme personality of Godhead forbids his devotees to endeavor uselessly for dharma, right? Economic development and sense gratification. These are the things we want.
Material things of this
material
world. Religious. This is the religious package.
Yeah. It's
Be
like,
good,
no,
be
I'll
religious, be
I'll make some money,
prosperous, enjoy
and
the
I'll
good
enjoy.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Indra, one can thus infer how kind the Lord is. Such mercy is obtainable only by unalloyed devotees, not by persons who aspire for material gains. Oh,
You, Mr.
Vritrasura
Indra.
is refining us with these lectures. He's refining our spiritual path right now.
Yeah, he really starts to speak some beautiful stuff here now. Oh, there was some stuff in that commentary from that 22 that we read, the one about the belligerents and all that.
Yeah.
Let me just read a little bit of that.
Please, Prabhu.
Okay, so there was a word used there, ekanta diyam. Ekanta, like focused, ekanta, like one, eka, you're focused, you're entirely focused in one place. And so sometimes there's this term ekanta bhakta, right? Like, my devotion to God is my only focus. I'm not focused on trying to become wealthy. I'm not focused on trying to get position. I'm focused on my devotion. So the sixth canto is teaching that the fruits of asking for, what are the fruits of praying to God with a heart mixed? It's not just devotion, but it's mixed also with material aspiration. And it's comparing it to the ekanta diyam, the one-pointed meditation of one who's in spiritual consciousness. In this case, that's Vritrasura. Now, Prabhupada opens up by quoting Ye yata mam prapadyante tam stataiva bhajam yaham mama mano vartante manusha partasavasha. That's Bhagavad Gita with 411. He says, as devotees surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Prita. So both Indra and Vritrasura are being rewarded here, but they're being rewarded in very different ways. Even though Indra's going to win the battle, he's not getting the higher level reciprocation because he's coming with a lower level devotion. So Prabhupada writes, both Indra and Vritrasura were certainly devotees of the Lord, although Indra took instructions from Vishnu to kill Vritrasura. The Lord was actually more favorable to Vritrasura because after being killed by Indra's thunderbolt, Vritrasura would go back to Godhead, whereas the victorious Indra would rot in this material world.
Ooh.
Because both of them were devotees, the Lord awarded them the respective benedictions they wanted. Vritrasura never wanted material possessions, for he knew very well the nature of such possessions. To accumulate material possessions, one must labor very hard, and when they get them, they create many enemies, because this material world is full of rivalry. If one becomes rich, his friends or relatives are envious.
It's amazing, isn't it? Your
It's
friends
crazy,
are
right?
off. Most likely, they might like you just for your wealth.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, how does that make you feel? It's like you only like me because I'm. I mean, I wasn't super famous, but I was sort of famous. But you never know, like, if they actually like you. This is what I found. Very,
Yeah.
very peculiar phenomenon. A lot of times, because I like people. You know what I mean? I sort of let to ask Mara. I indiscriminately let anybody into my life, and it's not a great quality. I should have a little bit more of a fence or a guard dog. But I let
Guardrail.
people in my life, and a lot of times people they don't want to, especially when I was doing the band, they don't actually want to love you like a friend. They want to become you, and you let them
Oh.
too close, and they want to sort of like all of a sudden they start finding tons of fault with you because they actually wanted to become you and not love you or not be a friend. So there's a lot of like anguish I suffered when people you never know who likes you or who just sort of like wants to be around your energy. And I'm
Do
sure
those
people who are
people? Do
I'm sure
those?
people who are very beautiful or very wealthy or have some type of other position, in this world, they go through the same thing. Who's my real friends?
Right.
What do you think?
Do those people, those disillusioned people or whatever, do they sometimes become your crazy Joe Davola?
Oh yeah.
This is Raghunath and I have this theory that everyone has a crazy Joe Davola.
It's a
Right.
Seinfeld reference where there's just like a crazy person in your life that's sort of crazily obsessed with taking you down.
They're out there. They're just causing
Insanely
you like
obsessed,
they're
causing you mental
causing
anguish.
you. You can't
And
sleep at
as
night.
peaceful and as sweet as Kostuba is, he's got about three crazy Joe Davolas
I
in his
think I got a few
life.
crazy Joe Davolas out there.
That are like your satellites. I was like, who could not like Kostuba? Now he's got people out there trying to
I
take
got
him
some
down.
crazy Joe Davolas.
It's
I'm not
so
going to
funny
mention their names.
when I witnessed that. I was like, out of all people, you. I could understand me. I could understand, like, you know what? Rockin' a jerk. He's got a big mouth. He talks out of
No,
place.
no, no.
But I can't get why people wouldn't like
I
me.
think especially when there's some celebrity, you can easily develop crazy Joe Davolas because, as you're saying, people just
They
for
don't know
whatever
how to
reason.
handle that energy. And
Yeah,
also, I know a lot of famous people, and it becomes weird for them who they like and who because a lot of people who want some place in this world feel like, well, I can feed off your power, and they try to
yeah.
get close to those people. And
Or
I
being
find,
close to you lifts me up. Being near you makes me more
yeah,
important, or whatever.
in my own world, when I know famous people, I try not to get too in their life also because I don't want to be that to that person, you know.
Imagine, imagine Indra. You get elevated to a very high position that you've been desiring. And then when you get there, you find out suddenly you're full of like, there's all these crazy Joe Davolas out there in the form of demons, like the Suras and
Yeah.
in different, people that are just out to get you. Well, hold it. I'm a nice guy. I just wanted to enjoy this nice position. Yeah. Well, the way that the material world is designed
Mm, mm,
is that it,
mm,
it,
mm,
it
mm.
creates these problems that, when it was listing all of those, what was it again? Anxiety, enmity, mental
Enmity.
agitation. When you got a Joe Davola on your back, your mind is agitated by why is this guy like, getting all up in my thing. I'm not doing anything. It doesn't matter. The material energy is working that way to counter your material desire. And it's only when
Sometimes when
you
you have
become detached,
position,
that you
also
free.
people that you really thought were your friends, they like turn on you because they're actually had enmity in your heart. See, this is a beautiful thing about the Bhagavatam. It's teaching you how to relate to people in a very clean way. Like if I have some enmity towards you, I know that's my issue. Oh, now
Interesting,
Kostuba's
right?
gonna,
Yeah.
we get trained like
It,
that's my
it's
issue. If
it's
you
not
have
it's not
something that
that
I want,
yeah.
go on. What were you
Go,
saying?
well, I was just gonna say, yeah, it's not necessarily the other person is. It's not. Someone may be irrationally opposed to you. That's not necessarily your fault. But if you have enmity towards them because of it, that's your fault,
There you
right?
go.
Yeah. Okay. Please
There you go.
continue.
You
Are
mean
you done?
you mean with the oh I'm sort
with
of
your
done.
point. I didn't know if I interrupted you.
Well, it's okay. I can't remember, but yeah, that's we're working on, like, yes, you made a great point. We're working on our inner engineering of our thoughts, and not to get hung up on if hate or envy gets slung at us, we just sort of like dodging it. We're not holding on to it, and trying to fight back. It doesn't that doesn't help.
Okay.
Okay,
23. Do we do 23? We're on 24 now.
23.
Yeah, 24. You're right.
Oh, my Lord, oh, supreme personality of Godhead, will I again be able to be a servant of your eternal servants who find shelter only at your lotus feet? O Lord of
Oh,
my
man.
life, may I again become their servant, so that my mind may always think of your transcendental attributes. My words always glorify those attributes, and my body always engage in the loving service of your lordship.
Andrew's like, what? He sounds like he's Narada Mooney or something like that. I thought he was
Wait
like
a
this
second, he's the bad
vicious.
guy.
Yeah. And so here, this is the sum and substance of devotional life, right? It's my body, my words, my mind. This is the way Bhakti yogis think. Let me take these three, these are the things that we have control over, right? These are the things that we can choose to engage, and they go from more tangible to finer and finer, right? It's one thing to engage the body, it's another thing to engage the words, and ultimately what we want to engage fully is the mind. And we're going to go into the mind of Vritrasura, but let's look at what he said again. When will I become your servant? And he said that I again become the servant, that my mind may always think of your transcendental attributes. That's how I want my mind engaged. My words always glorify those attributes, and my body always engaged in the loving service of your lordship. That's what he's looking for. That's his prayer. That's what he wants. Okay. Text 25.
O my Lord, source of all opportunities, I do not desire to enjoy in Dhruvaloka, the heavenly planets, or the planets where Lord Brahma resides, nor do I want to be the supreme ruler of all earthly planets or the lower planetary systems. I do not desire to be a master of the powers of mystic yoga, nor do I want liberation if I have to give up your lotus feet.
Okay. This is, he's expressing pure unalloyed devotion here, not the mixed devotion of Indra, who wanted, a position of power on a high planet. He's saying, I don't want, and this is real important verse, because again, this is the central message of the Bhagavatam, that although all of Vyasadeva's text from the Vedas, moving up through the Vedas, they're showing like, hey, if you want to get your life more in line spiritually, more in line with nature, more in line with God, and you're full of material desire, well, one way that you can get aligned is pursue your material desires within the context of the Vedas, which will demand of you that you become generous, that you become more thoughtful, that you become more, that you develop gratitude, and you cultivate that through ritual. Here, Vritrasura is saying, what was it again? I don't want to be the supreme ruler of the earthly planets, or I don't want any material position out of the things I do. I'm not interested in the karmic teachings of the Vedas. He says, I also don't desire the powers of mystic yoga. Right? That's another one of the opulences that is offered through, that you can find in the teachings of the Upanishads. Or I don't want even liberation, which half of the school of Vedanta out there thinks that's the supreme goal, right? To become free from the sufferings of this material world, to be liberated from the influence of the three modes of material nature. He's saying, I'm not interested in that.
Sounds attractive, but no,
No.
there's more.
Not if I have to give up your lotus feet. I love you, and I don't want anything from you. I don't want the things of the Vedas. I don't want the things of the Upanishads. I don't want the yogic mystic powers.
It's not 10% off, 15% off. It's Black Friday sales. That's what Bhakti is. It's Black Friday. Everything, prices are cut. The highest thing we're offering to you. It's not just a little taste. Oh, this is going to be good. No more material pain. No, is the best stuff here.
Yeah,
I guess Black
he's very
Friday
clear.
sales isn't a great analogy because it has so many horrible.
It's all
connotations.
yeah, it's all kind of below. But I get what you're saying, and it's just again one of the hundreds of places in the Bhagavatam that's clarifying this. That's speaking to the superiority of the bhakti pursuit to the karmic pursuit or the jnanic pursuit. Even liberation is seen here within the Bhagavatam and through the voice of Vritrasura as something that the yogi is not interested in if it means he has to give up pure love, pure devotional service, give up service to the feet of Lord Vishnu. It's been clear. Now this text 26, Raghunath, this is where he gets real tender. This is where he takes out his journal and shares his innermost tender feelings. Right on the battlefield.
On
This
the
big,
battlefield,
he's
right?
massive. He looks like the nastiest Viking you ever seen in your
And
life.
he's gonna
He's
whip out a journal and talk to Indra.
yeah. Where'd you hear
Oh
this?
Lord,
Oh,
oh
Lotus
my
Side
God.
Lord.
This is good.
You have such
Now,
beautiful
now
eyes.
he's stopping. He's stopping like the crap talking, and he's gonna look up at God in the sky. Oh Lotus-eyed Lord, as baby birds that have not yet developed their wings always look for their mothers to return and feed them.
Oh, so delicate and
Indra's like, what the heck?
so tender and dependent, so vulnerable. Some baby bird there in the
As
nest.
small calves tied with ropes wait anxiously the time of milking, when they will be allowed to drink the milk of their mothers.
That's
Or
me.
as a morose wife whose husband is away from home always longs for him to return and satisfy her in all respects. I always yearn for the opportunity to render direct service unto you.
Oh, so now he went from a little tiny baby bird that doesn't even have wings yet
Yeah.
to a tender little calf. Just taking little uncertain steps there in the farmyard, in the pasturing ground. And then to like a morose wife, he's like a woman waiting at home with her hair all messed up, just pining for her husband to return. I mean, that this warrior is talking like that. He's got they call it Purusha Abhiman, like even though externally he's playing the role of like a ultra macho, warrior. He's revealing that inside he doesn't have this Purusha Abhiman, the male ego, right? He's like he's actually got this pure, devotional, loving sense of identity. Unexpected, huh?
Yeah.
now the commentators they speak to these three examples because really what they say was happening was he started with the first one, the baby bird, and then he thought, that's not quite it. And then he moved on to the little baby calf, and they said that doesn't quite hit the mark. And then he settled on the morose wife, and this is how he got there. Okay, he thought, okay, as baby birds that have not yet developed their wings, as they look for their mother to return and feed them, and he's thinking about that. The baby, I've got no one but you. I'm entirely powerless without you. I need you. But then he said, but actually, that's not such a good example because the little baby bird, once it gets the worm from the mother, then it's just like, okay, I don't really need you anymore. It's just interested in the worm. It's not so interested in the mother. That was the point. So then he moved on to the calf, right?
Yeah.
And with the baby calf, he's thinking, this expresses more of my inner feelings because the calf, when the mother goes out all day into the pasturing grounds, the calf is sitting there and it's thinking and thinking of the mother. When will you come back? I want no one but you. I'm not thinking about anyone else but you. My heart, my mind, my conscience is focused. When will that day come? When will the moment come? When is she coming back? I need her. I need her. But he said that's still not quite right because the calf, the udder that it's really it's more wants that than anything, So it's focus has a lot to do with bringing the milk home, right?
Yeah.
And so on one it's closer because it's warmer, because it's
What is this? Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur's
I
commentary?
believe so, although I haven't checked
Okay.
it yet.
Okay. It
But
sounds
I
like
heard
it.
it from a very dependable Vaishnava.
Okay.
Um, and
Third one
and
is
so
the
it's
wife.
well, so that the calf, it expressed more of his feelings, that yearning, that wanting, that exclusive meditation, but still it was like, but I want the milk to come. So he settled on the morose wife whose husband is away from home, and she always longs for him to return and satisfy her in all respects. But it had more to do with the idea that the wife is thinking, I want to please my husband when he comes home. I'll do everything for him. I'll cook for him. I'll massage his feet. I'll speak sweet words to him. I'll serve him. And out of her heart, she's thinking, when he comes back, I'll be able to serve him. And this was what Vritrasura felt was the more appropriate expression of his inner tender feelings. Quite a scene in the middle of that battlefield. A second ago, he was whipping clubs at elephants
Yeah.
and knocking them back, and
Yeah.
now he's just opening up.
Oh, he went from macho man to sensitive,
Mr.
heartfelt.
Sensitive. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's only one more verse left for this chapter.
Oh, my Lord, my master, I am wandering through this material world. He's like talking to the sky, right? I'm wandering through this material world as a result of my fruitive activities.
Oh.
Isn't that interesting to think? We are wandering in this world. We are all wandering through this world. And what are we wandering with? A body and a mind that was given to us by our karma.
And which is his taking this is a radical responsibility, right? It's not like the
Yeah.
universe put me in this position.
Yeah, I got
God
what
put me in this position.
this isn't fair to me. No, I put myself in this position.
Yeah.
Seems
Or even
unfair
it happened
because what I'm not
randomly.
seeing the backstory of my choices.
Right.
Right.
He gets it. He gets it.
I made some choices and I got what I got. Therefore, I simply seek friendship and the association of your pious, enlightened devotees.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Continue.
It's so important who we hang out with, Kastuba. It's
It
so
sure is.
important.
It certainly is. Because what's happening here, Raghunath, is he just made that he was just saying, like, he was just praying. I'm like a morose wife. Why is she morose? Because of the feeling of separation from the one that she loves. And her heart is full of the desire to unite with him. And now he's saying, honestly, who am I to even be granted the boon of your direct presence? Let me pray instead that I receive the association of your devotees. Let me approach you that way, right? Let me not even pray for direct association with you. Let me place my heart and my service at the feet of your devotees. And, on one hand, it's a statement of humility, his own humility, that who am I to be so intimate with you? And on the other hand, it's a glorification of the devotees, that the association and the service of Krishna's devotees is in one sense even more desired.
It's so interesting how you can read something so beautiful as this and think of it as, oh, this codependent woman. No, she just loves her husband. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nowadays we're such victims of being abused by people. You give some love to someone and they mistreat you, and we're thinking, oh, don't be so dependent on this guy. Find your own personal peace without him. No, this is love. You have a strong longing in your heart for a person that has a strong longing for you as well.
Yes.
Uba. I just saw a horrible movie. Can I share it with you?
Does it have anything to do with what we're talking about?
It had something to do with what I was just talking about.
What were you just talking about? Go ahead. You seem determined. What was it?
Well, I was sitting in Mavis Tires waiting for my car to be inspected, and I finished my rounds, and I didn't have my beads with me, and I was just like, okay, I've got time here. It's going to take longer than I thought. So I had my phone on me, and I have a Netflix account on my phone, and I said, you know what? I never watch movies. I'm going to watch a movie in the daytime. And so I Google searched best
Oh, the Gotti thing.
Netflix. No.
Oh.
Best Netflix documentaries.
You
And
went for documentary.
I went for a
Congratulations.
documentary. And one came up that
There's a
caught my eye.
documentary about children killers.
It wasn't.
Children who kill.
You know what? It was gonna go to some crime related thing, and it ended up turning it. It was called the Tinder Swindler, and I thought, oh, that's interesting. Now, I've never been on Tinder. I have no idea. You know, I don't
Tinder.
know much
Okay,
about
it's
it.
an app.
Tinder's
Tinder
a thing
is an
where
app,
meet
a pickup
girls.
app.
It's a pickup app. You pick up a girl. It probably could be used in a healthy way, and it probably
A
could be used in a
hookup
gross
app.
way. Yeah, but
No,
anyway,
I think it's one of those ones that's just gross.
I don't know. No, I don't think so. But
All right,
maybe.
I could be wrong.
But I don't know. But it
There's
was
dating apps, and then there's hookup apps. I think that's the deal.
We've become so crude in culture.
It's crazy.
But it was about
It's
but
crazy.
it was about literally this guy who does like a Ponzi scheme with women. He gets the
swindling them.
woman. He presents himself as very wealthy, very, yes. Oh, meet me at the Four Seasons for coffee. And creates this like instant intimacy with them. And after a month of sort of like whining and dining them, he says, "Oh man, something happened. I'm in the midst
Something
of
happened. Send some money.
Yeah, can you send some money? My credit card's for some reason is not working. I'm in the middle of a business deal and I need it right now. Just Quicken Loans or something and get $30,000 for me." And they're like, they've developed so much trust and attachment to this person, but really this person's using one woman on top of another woman. So every expense that he spends on the first woman is all coming from some other woman who he's already played for like 2 months. And I tell you, the whole thing unravels on him. But I was just, how was I talking about this? Oh, because we are in a world where we're constantly getting exploited. We train ourselves not to trust anyone almost, and don't give your love to anybody. And I was just thinking how this guy's playing on the love of people and how that type of betrayal. How do you love again after that? Mara, come on.
Yeah, it's cruel. You know, a lot of elderly people get targeted by different kind of swindlers nowadays. Like they pretend like,
yeah.
oh, I'm calling from the bank, you know, and then they're just in
Not
fear.
only
They're
that,
just
not only that. They as lovers. As lovers, yeah.
That's really cruel.
That's really cruel. You know what? There's crazy people in this world, Costuba.
Crazy Joe Davola.
Real crazy people in this. This world's filled with crazy people. It's like, how do you trust anyone? You know, you and me are going around living our little Harry Christian life. The whole world's crazy, doing crazy, manipulative things. I mean, I'm sure I manipulate. I'm sure I like sort of like have an agenda, but this thing to create like, multiple names and characters and using people's credit. I'm not that crazy. There's people doing stuff like this all the time.
You know, I don't think we're really teaching people about character development, from a young age, whether it's coming from the parents or from the schools or anything.
Character development, I know. Truthfully, that movie made me lose faith, and it just made me like. I sent it to my daughter immediately. I was like, "Watch this movie. Don't trust men." So that was like my message.
Apparently, there's a
good morning, Mayor.
AARP tote bag scheme out there as well.
AARP tote bag scheme? What?
No, I can't even imagine. All right, let's read this. Let's finish off this verse, Ragnar. Start it again.
I hope my mom doesn't get swindled.
Tell her about that tote bag scheme.
You know what? My mom, she
nothing's getting through her filter.
Spend a farthing.
Sorry, I can't help you.
Yeah, she'll talk to them for hours, but give them nothing.
Your mom might be swindling them.
Swindling them out of their time. You should see the Christmas presents my kids get from my mom.
Good stuff.
It's like, are you kidding, Mom? My daughter's 18. You're giving her this like trinket? Are you this child's toy from the dollar store? Mom, come on. Okay. Where are we?
Finish up. Read the whole
27. Oh my Lord, my Master, I am wandering. Did I read this? I'm wandering.
Yeah, but you didn't finish the verse.
As a result of my fruitive activities, and therefore I simply seek friendship and association with your pious and enlightened devotees,
Okay.
not your Tinder swindlers.
And not
I-
even you directly. The point being made here is that let me. It's not right for me to pray for your direct association. I want my prayer is for the association of your pious and enlightened devotees.
That's our gig. Those who claim to be my devotees are not my devotees. Those who claim to be the devotees of my devotees, Krishna
They're
says,
my real devotees.
they're my real devotees. That's why we want community, so we can serve the other devotees. That's how we become dear to Krishna.
All right.
It's amazing. That's why we like community.
Community.
Okay. My attachment to my body, my wife, my family, my children, and my home is continuing by the spell of your external energy, but I wish to be attached to them no longer.
I've been thinking they're mine. This is my universe.
Right.
It's my universe. Right? No. All of it's Krishna's energy.
Now,
That's
of
what
course,
he's
if
saying.
you have a pious spiritual family that's helping you in your spiritual life, that's another thing.
Yeah.
Right. But once we get into the consciousness of even if they're, spiritual family, if you think like these are mine and I expect this from them and I want my kids to turn out like this, once I get into that consciousness of I'm the controller, these are my expectations of the things I control, we've lost
On-
touch. So you'll
on
hear
one
this
level-
again and again.
On one level, you're a Tinder swindler when you're there. You're exploiting
yeah.
others for your
Don't be a
own
Tinder
selfish
swindler.
purpose. Don't be a crazy Joe Davola.
Don't be a Tinder swindler.
Don't be a Tinder swindler. These are some of the
Don't
key
be a
takeaways.
macho man.
Don't be a macho man. I mean, you can be a macho man is not necessarily a problem. But if you are a macho man, try to get in touch with the very tender, sensitive feelings that are deep inside.
I did not realize the village people were gay until years later.
Well,
I wonder-
Raghunath, you probably didn't realize Liberace was gay. I mean, people just didn't know back then.
I didn't. I didn't realize Dolly Parton had a wig on. Years later. Men are so easily fooled by women. Those aren't your real nails.
But we still haven't finished this verse, Raghunath.
Okay.
My attachment to my body, wife. All
My
that.
attachment to I read that. But I wish to be attached to them no longer. Let my mind, my consciousness, and everything I have be attached only to you, my Lord.
Oh, what a beautiful way to end the chapter. Right? That was a picture of pure devotion. Indra's been the picture of mixed devotion.
Mm-hmm.
He's been full of anxiety and stress and doing all kind of stupid things, and one day he's up and the next day he's down. Vritrasura, he's been put in a horrible position. He's about to be killed, but he's expressing the pure devotion. Right? That my mind, my consciousness, my everything I have be attached to you only. He's saying, I don't want to be a Tinder swindler on any level. Right?
Yeah.
Everything's for you. That's it.
Mara, how are you doing? Mara, you know what? I get to see Mara now, not as Mara, but as Mara's like the littlest girl. She's the youngest kid of her 5.
Well, she's the baby.
She's the baby of the family, of 5 kids in the family. No?
Yeah.
You
no, I
always
am.
thought of her
Yeah, that's
as
correct.
this like high level,
moving and shaking, fierce, chef,
elite private school
class.
student,
culinary
of-
queen.
captain of the field hockey team.
Yeah. Chess
No,
club
she's
champion.
just a little one. She's like that little bird whose
She's the
wings
little
have
baby
She's the
bird.
little kid of her
Little baby
family.
bird.
Yeah. I am.
And you got to go out and bring home the worm every day, Raghunath. You go out into the world.
All right.
Well,
out.
I'm serious. So how you doing with everybody here? How you feeling?
Good.
Any emotions coming up?
Is there
That I
stress?
want to share publicly.
Yeah,
For
with
2000.
Yeah.
Is there
any
pre-event
questions?
kind of stress going on?
No, not at the moment anyway.
You got to lock down. This
You
is an easy one. You've done much bigger programs than this.
No,
Yeah.
but this is different. This is emotional. I don't know.
Yeah,
You don't wanna
but
share anything? You
whatever
don't wanna-
she puts
you
out,
don't want
they're
to
going to be happy
create
with.
space for people to be vulnerable by sharing your vulnerability.
I'm just excited for the wedding. I'm happy to have all my siblings around. We don't get together all together very often, all 5 of us, the siblings.
That is such
And so
a
it's
nice.
nice.
That's such a nice.
Will you do me a
sentiment.
favor, Mara?
Everyone
Yes.
else is dreading going home for the
Yep.
holidays.
Will you offer my best wishes to Papa Tony today?
I would be happy to.
Thank you. Don't
Yeah.
forget, please.
Well,
All
right.
Tony.
you guys ready for some takeaways?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Papa Tony.
Observe nature, reflect, and journal.
Papa Tony.
That's where we started with the
Mm,
puff of air coming out of the nostrils of the
buffalo.
buffalo.
When you realize how quickly life goes, you can let go of the little things.
Let it go.
Don't let your material opulence increase your anxiety and enmity.
No, 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 no.
Beware of investing in your stuff as yourself.
That could become a problem.
Stuff as yourself. Phew.
Before you pray for abundance, pray to know how to handle abundance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Should we even be praying for that abundance?
I will teach you an abundant mantra.
The
Can help you.
material world is full of envy and rivalry.
Really
All over the
is.
place. Crazy Joe Davolas.
Rivalry.
If I've got enmity, it's my problem.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I wouldn't wear it as a t-shirt. It'd be weird, but it's a very good.
A mug.
Could you say it again?
If I've got enmity, it's my problem.
My problem. That's
My problem.
taking that radical
My
responsibility.
issues are my issues. How about
Right.
that?
You'd wear that
Well,
as a
that's
t-shirt.
kind of
My
that's,
issues are my
that's kind of like
issues.
about the most obvious thing. That's like saying Tennessee is Tennessee. Yeah, we know.
It's a circular statement. My hunger is my hunger.
That's like Raghunath at a poetry jam, like kind of like where he's got to come up with something spontaneous. And my hunger is
It's my hunger.
my hunger, and everybody's like, yeah, yeah.
So
yes.
deep. He's so deep. It's his. He claims responsibility for his appetites.
Engage your body, words, and mind in service to the divine.
1, 2,
We say
3.
that word a lot. Engage, don't we?
Well,
Okay, go on.
disengage. Was that a song by? Did you guys have a song Disengage?
Yes, we did.
Is that you? Was that Shelter? Or was that Youth of Today?
Youth of today. It's a
Good
big one.
word. Good word.
Bhakti is the best of the Black Friday deals.
Mhm.
Of sorts.
Of
Of
sorts.
sorts.
I mean, sometimes the
It's like
sometimes
it's more of a Cyber Monday.
the temples can feel like that Black Friday sometimes. Like, oh my God. You know, they get wild. You been there?
Yeah, Bunky Bihari Mandir. It's like a
Yeah.
Black Friday sale. It's like Walmart.
But every day of the year.
I'm looking at my daughter getting caught up in the swarm of people pushing, tugging,
Yeah.
and somehow they're all blissful.
Drop your ego and pray like Vritrasura.
Yeah.
Just drop it.
Yeah.
Pray like a girl.
Pray like a
Pray
girl.
like a girl. And
Yeah.
And
don't be a Tinder swindler or a crazy Joe Davola.
yeah, don't be that. All right, you gotta pull the picture.
We
Crazy
all
Joe
got
Davola.
one though. We've all got one.
All got
We gotta pull
Crazy
Crazy
Joe
Joe Davola. Maybe we can make it into a video that we can post on Instagram. That the thing about the clown. All right, everyone's gonna
Creative clown?
YouTube search Joe Davola
Crazy
clown. Clown. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny, Karuna. You'll like it. You like clowns?
Still afraid.
Do you
of
like?
clowns?
No, he says. Do you like circuses? Well, I was scared of the clowns. He goes, still scared of clowns. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. It's Thanksgiving. Have a great Thanksgiving. Maybe put some time aside to be grateful for the people in your life, for the stuff in your life. Don't let. If we have the first day of giving thanks, and the next day is like consume, purchase things. Hey, let's
A
make
lot
it
of consuming going on this day too, though.
really.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
Look, it's Kelly Skinner. Thanks, Prabhu, and happy Giving Thanks Day, sweet souls. Well, thank you, Kelly Skinner. Thankful for everybody here on Zoom. You didn't have to be here. You didn't have to be here, but you made a choice to spend your morning with us on Thanksgiving. I hope we filled your cup a little with a cup of healthy mushroom blend elixir with nut pods